Hey everyone, it's Heather Letzi, and we are starting a new series I'm so excited about. It's called This Week in Findability, and we're going to feature a topic and then talk about it all week through our social media, through our videos, and we're going to have all kinds of downloadable goodies as well. So today we're going to talk about how to hire a web designer or a web developer. So I don't know about you, but I've had some very interesting, I've probably had about 10 relationships with web developers since I started my company like 15 years ago. So it's been a rough journey. And I've seen some things that people who hire web developers and web designers, look, we're business owners. We don't know anything about web development. My son's a BMW mechanic. And I think mechanics and web developers, they suffer from the same thing in that they tell you how much it costs. They tell you their personal preference. But at the end of the day, you don't really know. You just got to blindly trust. So when you take your car to Jiffy Lube or to a mechanic and they say, hey, it's $600 worth of bills, right? Or worth of fix, you're saying, really? Is that really what I should be doing? So a lot of that shows up in web development. So let's talk about some of the biggest myths and successes of hiring a web developer. The first thing is always go for the word autonomy. Autonomy in everything, meaning you want autonomy with your own website logins. You own the domain name, not the developer. You own the logins to the hosting, not the developer. And you're also able to have total control over your website. So we call this code jail. Code jail is when your web designer builds something proprietary or custom and only he can fix it. So if he gets hit by a bus, he gets disgruntled, you are never going to be able to fix that site again. And whenever they say, this is a simple back end, anyone can take it over. If it is custom or proprietary, it means that no one else can do it and you're in code jail. So if you're going through a webmaster divorce or you're kind of in that where you've had a bad experience, and post in the comments and tell me if you've had a bad experience or tell me if you've had a good experience, because I think so many times all the negative shows up. Trust me, being in search engine optimization, I hear all the negatives about the snake oil that is my business. And that's why I love doing what I do. So I wrote a book called Marketing Espionage. There we go. You can tell I use it a little bit. It's got a little fray on the side. So chapter 13, ironically, chapter 13, there you go, is all about how to evaluate and hire a web developer. And I've got the essential checklist here for how to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and include a link in the bottom of this video to my entire book. So first of all, autonomy. Make sure you have the logins. Also check their references. I know it goes without saying, but let's make sure to check references and make sure that they're actually have the good references. I mean, I know they're not going to give you all, they're all going to give you all great references. I get it. But call them, talk to them, see how easy they work with, how fast they respond. There's all kinds of things that we forget to ask that really end up being a very big difference when you are working with that person in the trenches. There's always that honeymoon period at the beginning. Everyone's so excited. And then it really comes down to responsiveness. Also, make sure that there's a penalty in the clause if they deliver late. So oftentimes these web developers are like hiring contractors. You show up, they say, oh, it's only going to take 30 days. And then at the end of the day, it takes 6 months. And that can just be so incredibly frustrating. So make sure you have hard deadlines and that you own all of the assets. You own all of the logins for all your social media. Another thing is make sure you own the .com, the .net, and the .org of your primary domain so that no one else can get it. It is actually an asset of your business to have all three of those. So if you ever go to sell the business, you'll have all three of those extensions. Don't buy any of the other crazy extensions like .biz, .com, .expert. Just stick with the three, the trifecta of domains, which is .com, .net, and .org. So when you go, also pay upfront half. Do not pay the entire thing up front and only give the final payment after the site is live and you've received all the logins. Then release the final payment. Very important. Well, I hope this has been helpful. Make sure you love your web developer. Okay, I love web developers. Please don't get me wrong. It's just that I hear so many nightmare stories and I want to make sure that you are protected. The last thing I wanted to say is when someone says proprietary, it means that only they can fix it. So my recommendation is WordPress. Yes, you can go on Wix or Squarespace, and that's a good start. But then after that, I want you to think about, should I be on WordPress? Yes, WordPress has security issues. Make sure you're on a secured server, dedicated IP, and you also have a really strong password to get into your site. So no passwords and no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s. It's so important that when you're thinking about how to protect yourself, you've got to be thinking it's all about me all day. It's not about them, it's about me and what I need. So have an agreement about responsiveness in emails. Have an agreement around the timeline that you're going to expect the website to get launched in. Also, who is doing the copy? Oftentimes when you work with a web developer, you'll get all the beautiful design and you're all excited, and then the web developer says, okay, where's the content? And you're like, what? The content is hard. So a couple things I recommend, you might want to write this down, is rev.com, rev.com. They have a Rev recorder, and they even have it on a smartphone. So you can just sit there, walk around your office, talk to your